Welcome back to the Domestic Church Project Spiritual Formation Session, where we explore our relationship with God in the Catholic Church. In our last video, we began discussing man. Remember, man is a unique combination of spirit and matter. We are a harmonious union of something proper to angels and something proper to animals. Maybe it's not always as harmonious a union as we would like, because the spirit and the flesh are constantly at war with each other. But we are not angels trapped inside the bodies of animals. Our bodies are an integral part of us. We are incomplete without them. So to understand our place in the world as men and women, we must understand both our bodily realities and our spiritual ones. Perhaps it will be helpful to make a diagram. We are a composite of body and soul. Our soul is spiritual and contains no matter. The soul is where it operates, so it is everywhere that our body is. Our soul contains our intellect and will, which are our powers of knowing and loving. Our intellect isn't in our brains, nor is our will in our heart, of course, but I have to draw an arrow somewhere. Our body has all of our sensory inputs. We see with our eyes, hear with our ears, smell with our nose, taste with our tongue, and feel with our hands. This is actually how we learn. Catch that. We know nothing that does not come to us through our senses. Our minds are sort of useless until we learn how to use our senses. I cannot know pizza as a concept in my mind until I have smelt pizza and tasted pizza. Nor can we will anything until we know it. We can't love what we don't know. Before I knew cheesecake, I did not love cheesecake. Now that I do know cheesecake, I love cheesecake. So I choose or will cheesecake. Now, here we must make a slight diversion that is very important. We need to discuss the passions. These might also be referred to as the appetites, or loosely speaking, emotions. The important thing to note is the passions are something that happen to you. They are passive. Let's take ice cream. If you were to ask a boy in the park how he feels about ice cream, he will say, "I love it." In general, it is fair to say that most people love ice cream. We're using love loosely here. Then say he notices the ice cream truck. Now he starts to crave ice cream. There's a longing for it, an attraction to it. Notice he still hasn't done anything. These things have just happened to him. Then mom buys him a cone and he eats it and he experiences joy. These are the three passions towards something we consider good. In general, love. When present, attraction. And when possessed, joy. The opposite is also true for those things we see as bad. Take something like the dentist. In general, the boy hates the dentist, perhaps because he ate too much ice cream. When mom tells him it's time for his checkup, he has an aversion to it. He doesn't even want to get into the car. And when he is there in the dentist chair, he is miserable. So in reaction to something that we find to be an evil, we have in general a feeling of hate. When present, aversion, and when possessed, sadness. Again, it's important to see that these passions are passive. The boy didn't choose them. They just sort of happened to him. Nor did the boy have them before the first time he had ice cream or went to the dentist. This always makes me question why parents would give their children sweets so early in life. They literally don't know what they are missing. Another thing to note is that these passions are neither good nor bad, right or wrong in themselves. We've all met people who don't love pizza or ice cream or beer. We've met people who love things that we hate, like veggies or running, or maybe even the dentist. We can even be wrong about our passions. If a little girl was once bit by a dog, she might have an aversion to dogs for many years, falsely concluding that all dogs will bite her. It's important to note how the memory and imagination, the internal senses, which we talked about last time, play a part here. And remember, these are all bodily realities. the things we share with the animals. The squirrel loves nuts, and when he sees a nut, he is attracted to it, and when he eats it, he experiences joy. Until he sees the girl squirrel, which he loves even more than the nut, and is attracted to by an even stronger impulse, and chases after her until he sees a car coming, which he hates and has an aversion to, and runs away so as not to become a very sad, and flat squirrel. Where the human animal takes over is in his or her ability to choose to overcome that aversion. In fact, we can even train and retrain our passions to desire an even higher good. A woman might have an aversion to working out and an attraction to chocolate, and so naturally would want to avoid the one and pursue the other. But once she experiences the good of a healthy, fit body, that good can supplant the original passion. Now, because she loves good health, she can actually have an attraction to working out and an aversion to junk food. This is the process of becoming a more excellent human being and learning how to seek the higher good by growing in virtue. This can be true for working out, eating well, learning, and even prayer. Once we know the higher good, those lesser goods pale in comparison, though there may always be that battle between the flesh and the spirit for certain items. For the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. We see for every desire there is something on this earth to satisfy that desire. For hunger there is food, for thirst there is drink, for sex there is marriage, for knowledge there are books. And yet, if we are honest about it, there is still an unsatisfied desire. A desire so deep that nothing in this earth can satisfy it. If such a desire exists, then it would seem we are made for another world. To be a truly excellent human being, then, is to seek God with our whole heart, mind, and strength. In fact, we were created for this very union, and it is this union which we will discuss in our next video.